Okay, so here we have the sender.c file. We are importing all of the required libraries. We are creating two constants, which are the chunk size, which is 1024, and the port number, which is 12345. We have two global variables. We use these, we access these global variables in the main function while we update them in the send file function. The send file function actually sends the actual video file over the TCP protocol. So it contains all of the socket programming logic, which includes creating the socket, setting up the server address structure, connecting to the server, opening the file, and sending the file in chunks. So it reads and sends the file in chunks of 1024. It also sends the end of file signal. It also updates the status label of the GUI to file transfer complete before uh, before actually extracting the directory of the file. We also have the on send button click. This method is uh, this function is called when the GUI's send button is clicked. The main function. The main function contains all of the GUI logic. We create the window. We create the file chooser button. This is actually a built-in function provided by the GTK GUI library. We add filters to the file chooser for video files, so we are only allowing a few select video file formats, which are very common, like MKV, MP4, AVI, and FL. We are creating the send file button. This send file button takes the on send button click function as a callback. We are also creating the progress bar in which we use the global variables we discussed earlier. We also create the status label using the same status label global variable. After that, we arrange all the widgets in the grid that we created above, and we display all of the widgets and keep the GTK running in a loop. We have also added a functionality that allows the GTK to be responsive while the file is being sent. Next, we have the receiver.c file. This file as usual, contains the library. We are importing here the libraries that are required. The chunk size is still 1024, and the port number is also 12345, same as the sender.c. Create the TCP connection. We have the receive file function that receives the file over the TCP port. Here in receiver.c, the receive file function does not contain the socket programming logic. In here, the socket programming logic is in the main function. We create the socket, we set up the server address structure, we bind the socket to the address in the port, we listen for oncoming connections, we accept the connection, and we also print out some useful debugging messages like server listening on port, this and this, and the client connected receiving file, etc. Over here in the receive file function, we can we actually receive the chunks that are being sent by the sender, and we write them into the file that we create here. Next, we will discuss the demo of the program. Okay, so here we are in our Linux environment in a virtual machine. First, we are going to compile the program. Okay, so now we are going to run the compiled files. So here we have the GUI for the sender, for the file sender. Okay, now we are going to navigate into the required folder. Here we go. Here we are going to open the test video file that we are going to transfer. After selecting the file, I'm going to open a new terminal and I'm going to run the receiver file. So now the receiver is running on port 12345 and it is waiting for the sender to send the file. Here we have the sender. I'm going to click the send file. As you can see, it updates the status label and the progress bar. It has also opened the required directory because I delete this received file, close this directory, run the receiver again, and send the file. You can see that it actually opens the directory in which we are receiving the file. Now, the file has been received correctly, and it is the same as the file that we sent. As you can see.